What's going on, y'all? It's Mr. Sixer himself, Stan from Drexel Hill, back again with another Sixers video. And as the season progresses, we inch ever so closer to where chaos meets intrigue. And of course, I'm referring to the NBA trade deadline. And today's video is dedicated to the trades that your Philadelphia 76ers could possibly make and the ones that they probably shouldn't make to see if they can improve their team and become even more than just title contenders. Let's get into it. For the first trade, I'll get right into it. A trade that I don't think the Sixers should make. A trade that I spoke about. A trade that I made a whole video about. But in case you didn't see it, I'll get right into it. Lauri Markkanen. Should the Sixers trade for Lauri Markkanen? My answer, real simple. No. Okay, in all seriousness, I did a whole video about that, so if you want to know really why I said no to Lauri Markkanen, it's nothing personal. I think he's a terrific player. I just don't think he fits exactly what the Sixers need as far as defense and other things going forward. But I made a whole video about that, so you can check that out for yourself, and you'll hear more specifically what I think about him. But I'm going to say no to that one. Another trade that I'm going to say no to is actually for one of Lauri Markkanen's former teammates in Chicago, and that's Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, like Lauri, terrific player, could fit seamlessly next to Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. But again, for the competition that you have going up against Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, Giannis, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, things like that, I don't think having just another scorer is going to get you over the hump. When you get into the playoff series with these guys, scoring is great, but you got to be able to stop somebody at least one time. Another player I wanted to get into is actually a former Nick Nurse player back in Toronto. That's the Raptors' own Pascal Siakam. Now, obviously, we've all heard the rumors. We've seen the speculation. The Nick Nurse tie-in plays a part. The Joel Embiid, Cameroon thing plays a part as well. Pascal would be a terrific fit. He would fit seamlessly. Also, that's going to be a running theme here probably. He'd fit nicely next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey as being that third star on the squad. Right now, he's averaging about 22, 23 points per game. So we already know that won't be a problem. Defensively, he's not an elite defender, but he's a good defender. He'd basically be an upgrade at the Tobias Harris spot, right? He's probably more consistent. Overall, just a better player. It's just a matter of what do you do after that. If you do trade for him, are you willing to then give him the money? He's 29, so he'll be 30 soon. I don't know if I want to do that. So right now, I would say nay, but I wouldn't be opposed to it all the way. Another one that's kind of interesting, and I don't know exactly how I feel about it, is Jordan Clarkson. Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson. This is a guy who's instant offense, comes off the bench, pours it on. We saw that last night. He had a terrific game against the Detroit Pistons. Came up big for them. You know, that's a trade that if the Sixers made, I don't think that would be the only trade they make. It would have to be because apparently Daryl Morey, the thought process is they want to get a two-way player, right? So with OG Anunoby being shipped off to New York, that took him off the table, and now they're looking elsewhere for other possibilities. And Jordan Clarkson doesn't really fit that. He's a willing defender, not a great defender. Maybe not even a good defender, but he's a willing defender. But we know that guy can score, and every team in the league would love to have his type of scoring coming off their bench. So that's an interesting one as well, and it's something that you might want to keep your eyes on, especially lately. It's been coming up in the rumor mill, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, one of my personal favorites, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso. I think he, once again, sound like a broken record, would be a perfect fit next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, especially Maxey in that backcourt. I've been saying that although I think DeAnthony Melton is a very good player, I think he's better off coming off your bench if possible, if you have that, because I just don't like the concept of having two smaller guards in my backcourt, especially when you get into playoff time and you have to guard some of those bigger guys. I just don't like that myself. So having a guy like Alex Caruso who can not only score the basketball, but is an elite level defender, I think is something that obviously every other team is coveting, is trying to look into Chicago, what that would cost them. But if I was the Sixers, I would definitely be sniffing around there and seeing if that was a possibility that we can get him. Again, that would probably be a two-way deal where you get him and possibly somebody else, but that's definitely somebody to keep your eyes on. Alex Caruso from the Chicago Bulls. We got a lot of running themes here because you have former players, you got connections with coaches and all that, but I just said Alex Caruso. Another one, DeMar DeRozan. Why not, right? DeMar DeRozan, he's on an expiring contract, probably not going to re-sign with the Bulls. The Bulls right now, I believe they just lost to the Knicks last night, so I think they're 15-20 on the season, or maybe 15-21 on the season. they're not having the best time right now. Then they've been playing better as of late with Zach LaVine going. It's been a little different, but you got to think that eventually everything is going to just collapse in on itself, and they're going to have to, sell the farm, right? And now it's a matter of what can you get for a guy like DeMar DeRozan. And if you're the Sixers, would that include Tobias Harris? Again, he's an upgrade, different positions, similar games, but he's better, right? And then when you get to those closing moments, having a guy like DeMar DeRozan who can not only hit big shots, but knows how to draw contact just like Joel Embiid and get to the free throw line and knock him down at a very good clip, that's something to keep your eyes on. So defensively, not the best, but from an athletic and clutch and big time player standpoint, he's somebody that you can't take your eyes off of. He's somebody that you can't overlook. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers, again, got in on that and kind of saw, at least kick the tires to see how much it would cost for them to acquire a guy like DeMar DeRozan. This one's a little different. It's a little unconventional. Try to think outside the box, right? So just stay with me here. I don't know how likely this is, the likelihood, the possibility of it, but if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm still making a phone call just to kind of see what it would take, right? Because, again, those picks that you acquired from the Los Angeles Clippers, they hold a lot of value. So it's just a matter of now who's willing to take what. And the player I'm referring to is Herbert Jones. Herb Jones, super athletic, incredible defender, still offensively working to polish his game. But that's somebody that I would actually be really interested in to see if maybe that's a guy that we can get to swing over here. And you place him again next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey with his defensive prowess and athleticism. That'd be a very, very interesting look for your Philadelphia 76ers. So Herb Jones, keep your eyes on that. Hey, for the hell of it, we in New Orleans, we might as well ask, what about Ingram? Brandon Ingram? There was a lot of people during the Ben Simmons draft who said they would rather Ingram over Ben Simmons. So is there a possibility that you could grab Ingram? Now, New Orleans, they're not playing terribly. They're not playing incredibly. They're right there. I think they're about 20-12. That's not bad. They're holding their own over there, doing their thing. Guys are starting to come back from injury. But who knows? Maybe Brandon Ingram. Maybe that's a guy that you could swindle the New Orleans Pelicans for. I doubt it. Highly unlikely. But would you be interested? Is that a look that you think would fit the Sixers? He's a big-time scorer. We know scoring is not a problem for him. Got great athleticism, great height, length, all that. Would that interest you? What do you think would happen with that? Would the Sixers become elevated? Would you put them above Boston, on the same level as Boston? I don't know. That's tough. But that's definitely another one that I think would be interesting. Highly unlikely, but interesting. All right, y'all, let's keep this train moving. We're going to go with Kelly Oubre's former teammate. Yep, let's head to Charlotte, y'all. Terry Rozier. Now, I don't know the likelihood of this happening, but I'm looking at the way the Hornets are playing and the state of that team, and it looks like they're heading for another draft lottery situation. So maybe they want to give a guy like Brandon Miller, put the ball in his hands more often. LaMelo Ball's still been hurt. PJ Washington up in the air. They got a lot of question marks there. So maybe Terry Rozier is the one piece that they'll be able to get some draft capital back. And the Sixers have some of that. So I don't know what exactly it would cost them, but having a guy like Terry Rozier coming off your bench, same thing I said about Jordan Clarkson. Instant offense, can't be mad at that. And finally, we come to the last player. Now this one's a little interesting. Only because I don't know the likelihood, but I tell you this. If it's possible, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. He fits the criteria that Daryl Morey put out, two-way player, right? Plays both sides of the ball at a very high level. Not to mention, you'd be righting an incredible wrong that shouldn't have happened in the first place. And if y'all don't know, I'm going to tell y'all now, Mikal Bridges. Okay, wait, before you call me crazy, hear me out, all right? Stay with me on this one. I only bring it up because the last few games, I've heard a large amount of people saying that they don't think Mikal Bridges is the player that they thought he was. And that the Nets should consider the thought of possibly trading him for more assets and handing the ball over permanently to Cam Thomas. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that. But, hey, if that's what they want to do, it ain't got nothing to do with me. And if I'm a Sixers fan, and I'm a Sixers front office person, I'm definitely thinking about trying to throw my hat in that ring if he is available and bring him home. All right, this is where he belongs. This is where he should have been in the first place. An organization made a huge mistake in trading him, right? And we see where he's at now. We kind of see what he can bring. And being that third guy, I don't think he's a number one, but being that guy next to Maxey and Embiid, I think chef's kiss. He'd be a perfect fit. Again, staying with the trend, seamless, perfect fit. So hopefully that's something they can do, but we shall see. Are the Nets that dumb? They might be. Anyway, y'all, that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm reaching. Let me know if I'm not reaching high enough. Maybe there's a player that I missed that you think could have just as major an impact as the guys that I named. Maybe there's a guy that I said I wouldn't, that you can explain to me why you think he would have that impact on this team and put them over the edge. That's what it's about, right? They're already in that echelon as far as being a contender, but let's see if they can take another step to become possibly the favorites to win it all. So, yeah, let me know. Put it in the comments. Like, subscribe. Y'all be safe out there. And hopefully this team continues to stay on the right path and we can be talking about bigger and better things as the season progresses. Once again, it's your boy, Mr. Sixer himself, staying from Drexel Hill. I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.